Okay, what we have here is the SCED039 and the SCED041. They're pretty much exact opposites of each other, and these are both Seiko quartz chronographs. They're from the Spirit line. These are reissues, basically, of designed by, is it Giugiaro? The Giugiaro. Let's go with the Giugiaro. Famous Italian designer. I think he designed the DeLorean, Volkswagen Golf, a number of other things. And these, this particular model, well, not this one, but this style basically was made, I guess, more famous once the Aliens movie by James Cameron came out back in the mid-80s or so. It's when it was used by Sigourney Weaver, as well as the other Giugiaro design, which is known as the Bishop, which is black and red, black with red and some white accents. It's different designs, like straight, and they kind of offset the dial and everything, the case to one side, but it's not too important. I had the SCED035, which was basically pretty much as close to the exact reissue or replica of the original one from the 80s, which had a, I forget what the movement is, but it's in a lot of the quartz watches back then. And it was nice. It was a matte finish instead of this brushed and high polish, and it had like, I think, like a grayish dial, a bit of a black on the outside as well, but the track on the right there that you see, the minute track, the little fine ones, that was in yellow, maybe the numbers, I forget, and the hands were in like a salmon or orange-ish color. It's pretty neat. Just look up the SCED035 if you're curious what that looks like. Great watch, but I eventually sold it. I kind of wish I didn't, but it was at the right time where I actually made quite a bit of money off of that one. So, but I always wanted to get another one back, and I wasn't sure which one. I did get a recent SCED045, which is basically like a mix of the Ripley and the Bishop watch. I think I showed it, I might have showed it in the previous video. If I haven't, I'll try to record one and post it up and put a link to it in this video somewhere, probably in the description or at the end of the video. That one's cool. That one's limited to 300. All the other ones, as far as I know, are pretty much limited to 2,000, quite a bit more, including these. The only other one, maybe there's, I think it's called, is it White Mountain Engineering or something to do with mountain. It's all black and it's got some white accents. It's very stealthy. I think that one might be limited to 1,000. I'm not sure, but I think it's not quite as much as these other ones. Anyways, there's a couple other versions. Mostly they're in black. They're probably all black, including this, I don't know what you call this, the pusher box. It's basically an extension of the chronograph pushers that were actually on the side of the case, but it's designed this way. It's kind of cool asymmetrical design. It's not for everyone, but I like it. And there's usually, it's all black, and I think there's a gold version with gold pushers and some gold accents. And I want to say maybe there's even one more after that. But anyways, we're talking about these two, and why do I have two? Well, I always thought these were pretty cool when I first saw them, but I couldn't go with one or the other because I felt I didn't like this contrasting pusher box on the outside. Check this out. You know how it's black instead of silver, and I like it to be all one color. What drew me to the Ripley one, which is almost the only other one that's silver color. Almost all the other ones are black. They said it was all silver matte, but it was still all silver, and I like kind of like how it looked like it was designed as one piece almost, you know. Could have been carved or made out of one piece. Visually, that's what it looks like real quickly. And with these, I mean, it's kind of neat. It looks like this thing stuck to the side. It's a little bit more module looking, but I prefer it to look a little bit more clean, like the case and the pusher and this extension is more like one piece. So for that reason, I decided to get these two because they're not that expensive together, and I'll probably sell one of these, likely the black one. But I'm going to swap parts. I'm going to take this guy and the screws and the crown, because they're all matching silver, and stick it on here, and conversely this one goes on there, and I think that'll look cleaner for both of these. What I was going to say, I was debating if I could switch out the pushers on here so that it's all, you know, if this goes there, the black pushers would stay, which is okay, but I was thinking maybe it might be kind of cool to try to figure out a way to swap these. But from what I can see, I'm not sure how these are installed. Like, I've seen a picture of this disassembled. Someone took it off just to show, but there's like a hole that runs through, and it doesn't seem like there's any access to remove these pushers. I suspect they might be as simple as just snapped on, like onto the end of the pushers. I don't know. Either way, I don't think I feel comfortable forcing the issue without any clear indication as to which way it should go. So I'll probably leave it. And now the trick too is I'm gonna need to pop that case back. I thought it was a screw down, but it's not. I can see there's a little opening right about there, and the same on this side. It should be that way. Try to. It's right about there. You might be just able to make it. See how it's kind of lifted up. I hate these kind of cases. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to put back together too. But I think it would be best if I could switch out not only the screws, so when I stick it on here, it'll be all silver. Sorry about the focus. It'll be all silver. I don't think it'll look good with just one black crown here. I guess I can test and see it and see how it looks like first. Maybe I don't have to get into it. But that was the main modification I was going to do, is to swap at least those parts. Because the pushers are black, and if this crown is black too on here, it may not be such a bad thing in the sense that you know, all the controllables on here are black. You know what I mean? Like the pushers to start and stop, the chronograph and the reset, as well as the crown to set the watch. If that's all black, it kind of makes sense. It's not such a bad thing. But my idea was to swap the crowns as well. I'm just reluctant to get into the back here and pop it off, just because those things always are tricky to do, to slip that blade underneath it without scratching the case to hell in the process, or the case back. Let me think about that. The other thing I was thinking of was possibly coloring the hands, at least the second hand, just to give it a little bit more definition. As it is on this one, it's white. So it's alright, but once you get around this side, a good chunk of it will be kind of covered, right? So I was thinking of doing blue or orange, but let me see here. That's one of the colors I would do it. Just for accent color, but I'm just thinking maybe I shouldn't, because I'm just seeing how it's attached to this piece here that's in the center, and that's probably not going to work. It's going to be hard to just paint that without touching that black part. I don't know, really, yeah, because it's kind of, yeah, I'm going to hit the top of it, but then when I get to the sides, I got to paint that. I don't know, I could risk messing it up. I think as it is, it'll probably be fine if I don't mess with that. And simple sweep back. Yeah, I like this design. It's not that thick. It's industrial looking. It's different. It's famous designer. It's limited edition, but won't mean too much later since I'm gonna mess with with swapping out parts. Yeah, I think that will definitely make it look a lot better on this one and on this, just to have it all one color. And at first I thought these were just black and white dials, you know, the Panda style, which they basically are, but you look at it, actually it's got some brush finishing going down it. I don't know, is that picking up? Maybe if I darken this a little bit, it might show up more. So, yeah, see, you can probably pick it up now, like this, a little bit brushing. So it's actually silver, but the way it's done in comparison to this actual silver case, it really does look like it's almost white, which is cool. This is the effect I was going for. And since I'm on it, consequently on this guy, it's the reverse. So as you look at it, it's actually brushed on the outside, and then it's obviously black on the inside. And I don't know, there was a point where, back up and let's brighten it up a little. There was a point where I was going to possibly swap the dials as well, you know, this whole unit as a whole. So put this one with the silver or whitish thing frame, I guess, and the black, you can call them subs, into this one, and vice versa. I don't know, what do you think would look better? This, I was okay with this because I wanted to get another white dial watch, which this kind of counts close enough to, and this being probably a larger over, you know, continuous surface area that's bright white per se, that probably would have been, this is probably the way I would want to go. But there is something about seeing this in the negative that's kind of neat too. And I guess technically this is the Panda, this is the reverse Panda, right? Because the outside and everything else is white, and then you got the black subs versus reverse. Well, the only worry I have is that because this is black, it may be too low key for me. You know, like if I run this, I can see it here, but once it starts going off to the side here, it's probably going to be hard to read. This one would be cool to color as well. If I dare get in there and try to paint it, I'd probably do this one in, I don't know, red or orange or yellow. I think that would look pretty sweet on this. Make it pop out, just a hint of color on this. But yeah, see, once it gets over on this end, you can't really read it. You know, you can just kind of tell where it's at with this centerpiece. Obviously, the needle isn't sticking to here, so it's somewhere down here. So, anyways, you'd probably just, whatever your time, you stop it if it's there, kind of in the dark. You can angle it enough to figure out where you can see where the hand is actually pointing at, and as you keep going, once it hits a minute, this is the 60-minute counter, and it should tick over one. Once it does that, it's just slowly creeping already. There you go, 1, and set, and then reset. Okay, so let me try taking these off first, and then I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, so real quick and easy, I used a 2mm hex key for these screws on the side here, and they just came out just like that. They're held in with a little bit of Loctite, as you might see. This kind of white stuff at the end here. You can see a little bit of it there on the thread. But that's it. This is not that hard. And this is close-up look at the piece. It's a solid piece. It's not plastic, but the pushers are. But I don't know if you can see here. Let's see. That's how it's like. And you just push these in. You know what? Actually, maybe they're held in. I'm getting a closer look here. Come on, focus. See, there's a little C-ring. Maybe they're held in like that. So if I remove that, that might allow this to pop off, and I can swap them. Let's take a look at the silver one. That might be easier to view here. You know, I do believe, let me see if I can zoom up on this better. Hard to tell, but I do believe they are probably held in with just this, the C-clip here. You know, just similar to, I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes in the movement that keeps the date wheel in place, or something like that on the automatics. But yeah, let me just get a little something in here to just curious if I'm right. It should have yeah, look, it's not, it doesn't go all the way through. You can see it, I think you can kind of see it ends right about there on the bottom. So, well, there is a way to remove this. I don't know if I want to though. It's going to be a pain in the ass. I don't have all the tools here. I'm kind of doing this on a work break. They just came in right now. It's just not too long ago, just before recording this. Yeah, I'd have to find a way to pull that out and then stick it back in. I don't know, I think I have tight enough tweezers to do that. And you're just like making this fly to oblivion, then you're going to be screwed. But I do believe that's how they're being held in. It must be. And there's a spring obviously in the inside, so you have to, it's going to be tricky. Once you remove, you gotta have to hold this so this doesn't launch out. Like once you remove that clip, obviously there's nothing holding it in, so this could shoot out. So you want to be careful there, and you don't want to lose the spring, and that's probably inside here around this shaft. So you gotta do this, and then try to pull it off with one hand. Try to get small enough one to grab a hold of this ring here and pull it. And then if you do manage to do that and swap it, then you gotta hold this in place with this finger again, right? Keep some tension, and then find a way to fit that back right in there and secure it. So I don't know. So let's just take a look how this will look like on this guy, which is what I intended. And I think you can see already that looks a lot better. I think so. And if we put this guy on this one here, I think that just looks a little more sleeker, don't you? I don't think I have to change the buttons. It'd be good to have some bit of contrast. And secondly, I don't even want to fuck with those clips that are in here. I don't have the tools. Now, whether I want to switch out the crown, let's see. You know, I can always take the crown out I think after the fact. If it can pop off the back, there should be a button, I imagine, somewhere on the movement that will allow you to push it and probably pull the crown out. So I don't necessarily have to have this out, although it would probably be easier without it. But here, let's screw this back all together. I'm going to do this one, so we're going to swap screws. We're going to put the black ones over here and the silver ones over on this side, because I do want that to at least match the hardware that secures them down. So we're going to go in here. They go at an angle. Oops, sorry, out of frame. Back up. So they go at an angle like that. And then you just take the 2mm wrench key, and I'll go like this at first. I'll make sure it's in the right spot. And then I'm going to go this guy. Here, see? You can kind of see it's at an angle. And then you push that in. Like that. See? Doesn't this look better? Just a clean shape all the way across. And so I'm just, you know, getting a feel for this. You know, you don't want to strip any threading at all. Sucks when you realize that you did that on a certain part, and then you're like, oh man, this thing is loose now, or you know, I rarely get anything to rethread it once it's been damaged like that, but luckily I haven't done that to at least a watch. Okay, so see, find the hole. Okay, just kind of go even as much as possible, right? It's kind of like doing the tire on your car. You kind of go back and forth until they even out. You don't tighten one bolt too tight first. Let's see here, that, and turn. So it should be flush, shouldn't be like to see a little edge here sticking out. But I think I'm gonna use more torque with this guy here, and just so you see how that works, right? It just comes in like this. There's no real fancy like hinge or lever or something. This goes down, and then once it hits these buttons here on the side, and that's it. That's how it works. So anyways, I'm gonna make sure this is secure. You don't want this to slip, and like the elements, if it's not secure, you're torquing it and it slips and scratches across. That would be a bummer. Okay. And I'm going to tighten it as much as I can. I feel like I need to. So this is no longer sticking out. And we'll just do a quick test to make sure the buttons actually work. See? Starting up, stop, and then this should just reset it. Easy peasy. Trying to get this in good. I don't want to feel that edge right coming off of there too much, if at all. Be careful, it's getting pretty tight. I don't want to risk stripping the damn thing. That should be good. The only other thing I was wondering, maybe if I was going to customize this, was to maybe brush it. It's kind of tricky though to do it even. I'd have to tape it up, and the tricky part is getting into these corners, right into tight corners, and doing a good brush across. I mean, this would be easy on this piece. If I mask this, or actually I take this piece off again and just go across, brush it, I think that'll look pretty clean. Although on the bottom here, since I'm not taking off the pushers, that would be a pain in the butt. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to bother with that. I think that'll be a little too much, unless, you know, the thought was to leave the bottom part of this high polish, but I think it'll be okay just leaving it like that. Just keep it kind of sleek. So what do you think? Let me back this up a little. Right, doesn't this look a lot better? And how do you feel about that? I dare not mess with this right now for two reasons. One, I hate trying to open snapback cases. I really do. It just seems like the knife that you can get in a kit just fails to be slim enough to get in there properly without damaging anything. Secondly, this should have the clearance to it. The only thing about these is very tight, obviously. First position, all the way, hacks, close, continues. The other thing too is this doesn't have like a hell of a lot of water resistance anyways. Oh, does it say, you know, 10 bar? 10 bar. Yeah, I guess that's 100. But you know, I wouldn't go diving with this anyways. But you know, just to keep it nice and sealed, and just the risk of scratching this thing is kind of scary, especially on this guy since it's black. You can very well mess things up really quickly. So over there, it's not all the way, but we gotta make sure this one is aligned with the holes. Looks like this thing is pretty well precision made anyways. There's not a lot of fault here. To there, and this guy. I feel these go in a little bit easier for some reason. I'm not going to overdo it. That should do it, and then we'll just test it. It should be pure mechanics. There's not much room for misalignment. And there you go, all black. I think it's okay without this being switched to black. What do you think? Because I want to sell this and I don't want to add too many scratches to it, and trying to force something into here seems kind of scary to me. You definitely risk scratching this. I mean, you could tape it up and then work it, but geez, those cheap back opening knives, it's all jacked up on the lip edge. I'll give you an idea. Look at that. Yeah, do I really want to slip this underneath? Try to slip this under and pop it open. I mean, one of these days, if I need to change the batteries, probably going to need to. But I should definitely invest in a better knife specifically for this task. I don't have too many. Thankfully, most of my watches have a case back that's screw down. So, which I do need to get a better tool than what I have too. It's kind of, you know, a little wobbly, and on those 3-pronged ones that you can adjust. You know, you get them, but then they have a little bit of play, so it's easy for them to kind of, when you're torquing it, to kind of start to angle and slip. So you need something more solid. Yeah, this would probably be okay to get under there, but if it was, I don't know, you can hear it. Fingers going over this. That's not something that I feel comfortable putting against that. So, you know what? Again, I don't think my original plans would do all silver, but I think the contrast and the buttons help, at least here. And the fact that this crown is black on this guy You know, it is contrasty. It's not terrible. The main thing was getting this bar to be silver and brushed with like the case, and I think that looks a hell of a lot better than the offset, because then it looks kind of like, if you rewind it, if you don't remember how it looks like before, but with this being black, right, it just looks like it's it just looks like it almost looks like a normal watch when you first glance down at it, because you see the case is round and that, right, that's all one piece, and then you see this thing stuck to the side. So that wasn't really what I was going for. I wanted it to look like it was, I like the look that it looks like it's all kind of machined out of one piece visually. I think this is not bad, but I feel like this could go down more, so I'm gonna redo this off camera and see if I can set it in that's a little bit better. If not, it'll look pretty much the way it is now. Okay, just quickly back again. This one's cool. I think I'm just gonna leave that and probably put this up for sale soon. If you see this and it hasn't sold yet, for some reason you're interested, you saw what I did. Not much, just a swap of this outer hardware. Didn't touch the internals. Not going to, I think. At least not this one. I think this is good the way it is. Black, very clean. I think that people might like this one better than the silver bar here. For me, I like, if you're gonna do this design where, sorry about the focus, where it's a bit asymmetrical. Anyways, if you're gonna do a design like this that's asymmetrical, I don't think this should be separate looking, because then you still got, then that leaves this being symmetrical with like a piece stuck to the side, which, yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like that anyways, but this looks more, now the way it is now, it looks more uniform, you know, like it was built like this. I think that's more interesting than a round piece and then with a thing stuck to the side. This is already kind of jarring for some people, and to have it contrast might be a little too much. So I like the way this looks now. Yeah, pretty good. Whether I'm going to eventually get in here and paint, we'll see. Maybe when I do need to do a battery change, I gotta pop this open anyways. No choice. I might do it then and just paint it. But until then, yeah, I'm gonna leave it the way it is. I want to do strap option for this, but look how tight this is here. You'd be lucky to get a needle through here. It's gonna have to be very thin. I got a set of curved 18. These are 18 millimeters, by the way. Lug width. I got a set of curved spring bars for this, so it should add some bit of extra space between the case and the whatever strap you try to fit in there, besides the stock one. I mean, this is cool the way it is. You know, most of the time I'll probably on this, but I do like. I can imagine. I think it'll look good with a rally strap, like some sort of tan color. Maybe something high contrast, black with white. Also, I'm gonna give those a try, and if I have a good needle that I think I can fit in here, then I might try that too. But yeah, you'll see this in the coming days or weeks. I'm still waiting for those straps to come. I don't have too many 18 millimeters. What I'm going to do now is show you how to size this. So first thing, I'm going to put this guy away so I don't somehow slip a tool and mess it up. So that's going to the side, and closing that. Yeah, I'm planning to sell this one for about 200, I think, or actually no, it's about 150. I think that's a fair price for a Giugiaro's design. You know, it's been customized, but somewhat minor, but yet significant by keeping that other one all black instead of a contrast silver piece here. I think it looks cleaner. So anybody interested, look me up on Instagram at chronocraze with a K, K-H-R-O-N-O-K-R-A-Z-E, and message me there. You'll probably see something, at least this one probably posted up pretty soon, but that's how you can find me and send me a message. And if you're interested in that other one for $150, let me know. I'm pretty firm on it, so don't try to haggle me. I think it's a fair price, brand new. Everything you could see before aligns great. No scratches. I was very careful, and it's all complete. This is a JDM, and you'll have something original and unique, because most people are not going to be crazy like me to buy two and swap pieces like this. Yeah. So let me know. I think it's a fair price, $150, and I'll take care of the shipping, I guess. If you pay through PayPal and it's a legit address, then we're good. I hope if you're international, then I may need to charge you, because it's shipping this stuff international from the US. It's not cheap. So anyways, factor that in. But I think to get a unique Giugiaro design without spending too much like you can on an actual Ripley model, and I think I improved the looks of one of these anyways with the other one. That's the SCED041. That's why this is on here. Yeah, let me know. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to take these tags off and this piece here, and I'm going to get this ready to be sized, because these things, they look trickier than they actually are, how to size these. So yeah, be back. Did I not record? Anyways, just to be sure, these are kind of tricky. You got to take out multiple ones to try to size this, but I start off with this one here. Basically, there's a little hole here, and I take this kind of a pin thing that you use to size bracelets from the, usually you tap out the friction pins from like the side or something. But you can use the same thing. I just stick it in the hole, and then what you do is try to hold the bracelet down, and then push this out that way, so that it takes this metal slat here, takes it out that way. Once you get it out enough, depending, sometimes this is loose enough where you can probably pull it out. It might even fall out by hand. But if not, then you're going to need to take a pair of sometimes you pull it out by hand, it's not that tight. But if it's tight like it is now, then you need to get a pair of tweezers and try to carefully pull them out. And I'll try to do that and show you. Okay, so pair of pliers. What you want to do is, hopefully, I probably should have put tape around them. Let's try that. Hopefully they won't lose too much grip. So I put a little bit of tape around this. Hopefully that'll still give me enough grip to, and back up a little, give me enough grip to grab onto this piece and and pull it out. It might be too slippery. There we go. Let me move something out of the way here so I don't lose a particular part. And that's how it looks like. You just pull it out. It's tricky to get this out without messing it up too much. Don't want to show it too rough on the side once I put it back in. So that's a little bugger here. Let's do that. And then what you need to do is you actually have to clear out this. That's why you need to remove at least two because then you got to clear out some space. To unhinge this guy. You'll see what I mean. So what I'm going to try to do now is, jeez, I might have messed this up. Maybe I should have started closer towards the other end and moved up. It's always confusing with this one. So here we go again. So I tried to show you. Stick it. Stick this in here. Because I can't really unhinge anything. Push out. Here, and I'm pushing out that way. There we go. You hear that snap, and then that's cleared the that piece right there. And the best thing is this isn't so tight. I can just pull it out by hand, my fingers, but that's not gonna work. So I'm gonna carefully try to take this and pull it out, but these things aren't working. The tape around it. I suppose the best thing is just to make sure you get a good grip on it. Okay, this thing keeps stopping the recording. Okay, so I pushed out another piece, basically, but I didn't have to just yet. Eventually I will, but I guess I should have. I'm just trying to figure out where I need to break it, but I need to unhinge this first. By going down like this, just kind of roll it kind of out, and like that. Let me see. Fucking A. Sorry, I don't have my sturdy setup here. And then this gets unhinged. It's on this hinge piece here. And that's how you lock it back in. Just slide, try to fit it back in, get it under. You might need to wiggle it a little bit, and then there you go. It's back in place, but it's not locked until you put that metal piece back in. That metal piece, you see, keeps this thing from rotating out over to this side and out the middle. Conversely, I guess I could do the same on this. Sorry, I'm off camera. I don't want to move my thing, off center. But I could rotate this piece and take it out from this side. So what I need to do actually. Let's see which one is the better piece here. I think this looks cleaner. I guess I will put this one back on this guy over here for now, temporarily. Then I should be able to rotate this one out. There you go. And I have to do the careful task of balancing this on my wrist and then trying to see where it is that I want to roughly take out the next link. Okay, I gotta say this is a pain in the ass to do, as it was before, and finally got 3 links out that I think would be good on one side. I have to go back and do this side now. But basically, since that's out, I find the 2 best, because I got to put 2 more back in here. So you do need to remove 2 to get 1, just to get them separated, because it doesn't have enough. This piece running through here doesn't allow for that piece right here, the hinge piece, I guess, to curve up enough to be able to slide it down and then out from this slot, I guess. It'll make more sense once you actually go hands-on, but basically, yeah, you can't. Come on, focus. Focus. You can't actually just bend it up and move it over. Long story short, so I'm going to just find which one looks the best. Don't look too mangled up. I guess the last two I did, because I don't want it to show even on the side here. And what we're going to do is just press these back in. Make sure the side that has the little nipple or little bump sticking up here is facing that way, is not the other way. Otherwise you're going to have some, I think, some major issues removing this if you have that on the facing the other direction, because there's no space for it to get relieved, right, on the other side. And let's see, it's definitely not one that you can forget here. So put it here. I'm just going to use the soft end here and lightly try to tap it back in. That one got knocked loose on the end here, the last one. I thought I would have to go through the last one to do it, but that should basically be it. Yeah, it's very difficult to remove these without screwing them on the edges. I probably could have filed it or something, but you know, I'm not really tripping about it too much. Yes, this thing will be worn. Likely to get some scratches anyway, so screw it. Now, it is easier, of course, if you separate it. Now I'm going to test fit this on my wrist and see roughly how much I might need to remove from this side. Okay. This is definitely more troublesome than pins and collars and anything else. That's for sure. I would definitely suggest taking caution when you do this. That's why having a silver one is a little easier. I imagine if you have the black coated one, you could risk adding some scratches to it while sizing, especially the black pieces that go. You can imagine go in between there, just sliding it in and out. They could scrape a bit. Excuse me. But I did manage to size it about where I need it to be, because I really don't want to do this again. Yeah, these are all folded over. I mean, the quality is what you expect, but it's alright. It's a unique design and it matches. Pretty cool. So on my 6.875 inch wrist, there you go. That sits, see if you can see it, about right for me. And no, this thing does not create any hot spots on the back of my hand or any sharpness or any discomfort. It's actually quite comfortable, more so than some people might think for this design. Let me set something here so the exposure doesn't keep changing every time I flip my hand because of the brightness. The color balance might be a little off, but whatever. So, yeah, at least the exposure isn't changing. So let me again, I got this to fit just about right on my 6.875 inch wrist. It's not too uncomfortable at all. It's actually a quite comfortable watch. It's lightweight, fairly light. This doesn't really do anything to the back of my hand the way I have it set. I think this is about right. If I flip my wrist, this doesn't shift all the way back or to that side of my wrist, so it's good. I do have one micro adjust left if I needed to, but I don't think I'm going to need to mess with that. And there you go. I just got to set the date and time, but pretty cool. I'm glad I did this. Now I just got to sell the other one. Again, $150 for that one. Pretty firm on that. If it's within the United States, I probably won't charge the shipping, but if it is someone from outside of my United States, then I will have to charge shipping, because it's going to cost me a bit too much to take care of it on my own. Anyways, leave it at that. And yeah, hope this was informative. Here are the pieces left. I'm gonna just stick them back together. I took 3 out from this side, and on the other half I took out 2. I usually like to have the clasp rest pretty much centered on the bottom of my wrist, so that's a good spot for me. And there you go. These can bend as I was doing it, so there were some times I did have to take a hammer and imagine all the braces on there, I'd fit that in there and try to knock it out more, because it just fitting this in and pushing it out is very difficult. Some of them came out a little easier than others, but that's the way it is. It's a little inconsistent with you know, fold over clasps or fold over links. You know, you don't know what you're gonna get sometimes. Again, when you put these back in, make sure it's facing the right way with this dimple part you see sticking out on this side. Because if you try to do it reverse, it's gonna, once you get in there, it's gonna be probably wedged up really hard on the back side of this. It doesn't have like an opening here where, see, that little piece can stick through, and you have room for it to slide through. Only it's got this little fold over tight part to have to try to push it out to get it out. But if you put it in backwards, you're probably going to screw yourself. So be aware of that. So I'm just going to put this in here. Maybe just do a light tap just to make sure it doesn't fall out too easily. But I don't want to go all the way in because it's really a pain to push out. And just to give you an idea, see how this hinge works. Let's see, this would be the way to do it. So, see, this part of the hinge, or this side goes in first on this side, and then you just try to slip the other one in the middle, and then you kind of just see like that, and then you push over, and it rolls over, and that's how you get the links back together. Does that make sense? And then when you take it out, it's the reverse. You kind of fold it over this way, and then slide it out, and then there's one side, this side that has a larger hole in the bottom, and that's where you would kind of pull it out. Sorry about the focus. Pull it out this way, and then out. And again, you try to slip it back in the side that doesn't have the opening first, because you need that, and then you slip that in, then you just push it over and roll it down, and it's pretty much in. Just make sure you lock this piece back in. Like so. Am I missing a link somewhere? I feel like I'm missing a link. So this I took out, I believe I took out 2 from one side. And 3 from the other, so there should be one more piece that this goes with. Crap. Alright, I'm going to need to find that, where the hell that piece went. Once I do, I'll set it inside my box. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you later. I did find it was slipped underneath this piece of paper back here. So I thought it was tripping. I knew I took out 3 and 2, and there shouldn't have been this spare metal slat or whatever you want to call it. Just lingering around. It should all come back together, and this is the extra pieces. Still overall in good condition. If you wanted to, if you do have some plier issues that might have messed up the edging a bit of that piece, which sometimes you can kind of see if it's done really badly, you'll probably take a sander or file or something just to smooth it out, and it'll probably be good. And then you tap it back in. But I don't have that, and I'm too lazy, and I don't think it'll show up enough to make me care on this. But check it out. It's all done. Yeah. I'm going to do a review on this in a little bit. But for now, I just wanted to show you the mod that I did. Pretty quick and simple, but I think it looks better. And I thought I ended this video. Just one more once over. Show it to you again. I don't know. If I get enough scratches, I probably will end up trying to brush the sides here. And this part too, likely. But we'll wait till that happens. Just the same as getting into this movement. If I ever wanted to change the hands, I mean the color, paint that probably blue or orange, I imagine. I'll wait till the battery dies and where I have to open this case back up, and then that time I'll pop it out and maybe I'll try to color that in. And if I'm at that, I might try to see if I can do something to remove this black coating and just make it silver later. I probably wouldn't do that on the pushers because they're plastic, so I don't think there's anything to remove. If anything, I'd have to paint it, which would be kind of cool if I haven't thought about this too. But just maybe adding some splash of color if I get bored of this monochrome color. Make this like a red pusher and a blue one on the bottom. I think that'd be pretty tight. I should try to replicate that somewhere in here, but I don't know what I'd do because I only want to do the second sands in blue. Anyways, things to think about, but I'll enjoy it as is for now. Alright, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next.